What's happening, everybody? What's going on? 392 Blurred Lines coming back at you with another quick video. First time to the channel, welcome. Today, I'm going to try to get something done. I've been sidetracked with all this nonsense. I've been trying to get things done, and I just keep running into little issues. Ran into an issue the other day with my timing cover, so I had to end up having another one. I did have another one, so I had to end up painting it, which took away from getting it put on the other day when I got my oil pump put on, pickup tube put on. I got those things done. Got ready to put on my timing cover, and it would not fit. Now, it seems kind of strange that it wouldn't fit, but it didn't fit. But I end up having another one that does fit. What ended up happening was my chain tensioner. It was touching the inside of the timing cover. So I had another one. I went ahead, cleaned it up, painted it, got it looking good. And today I'm gonna see if I can't get something done with it. And the first thing I have to do, I have to put the seal in it. So that's gonna be the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the seal in it, and then we're gonna see if we can't get this thing put on the front of this engine. Last night, let me go back a little bit. I ordered some bolts. I ordered a package of these chrome bolts for the water pump. Timing cover, water pump, same difference. But I ordered a package of these bolts. The bolts came. And without thinking about it before ordering these bolts, I'm adding something to my engine that's going to change a little bit as far as the length of the bolts. It's not going to change the length of the bolts, but it's going to change how much that bolt is going to be down inside the threads of the engine itself. Because I'm adding a engine plate that will be taking approximately about 1/4 of an inch away from the threads entering into the block of the engine. I said, well, 1/4 of an inch is really not that bad. So I said, okay, that's fine. I can deal with that. So I went down. I said, well, I'll just go get a couple other bolts to compensate, because there were 2 of them that would have ended up being too short. So I went down to get a couple of bolts down at Menards last night. They didn't have, they had some chrome plated bolts just like the ones I have, but I needed at least 2.5 inch, and I needed one at least 2 3/4 inch. If I could just get 2 3-inch would have been fine, but they didn't have either one. The longest one they had was 2 1/4 inch. Go figure. So what I ended up doing, I bought a couple 3-inch that looks like this. And they got a nice little luster, but it's not the same as the chrome. So I said, well, I'm gonna see if I can't find the right ones, because the chromes look pretty good. So I'm gonna check around a little bit more before finalizing the bolts as what I'm putting in it. I'm not gonna have a mismatch. If I got to go with all of them looking like this, that's what I'll go with. But I prefer to go with them all looking like this. Considering I already bought them, I'd like to just find 2 more that are 3 inches long and cut them down if need be. But we'll see how that goes when I get to that point. But as for right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a vise so that I can press one of these seals down into the timing chain cover. So stick with me on this, and we're going to see if we can't get this taken care of. And we're going to just try to keep it moving. I may end up, when I put the timing cover on, I may end up putting the bolts in it just to hold that in place until I find the other bolts that I need. Now, what I do have will be sufficient, but what I got to thinking about today, I'm like, well, wait a minute. What about the alternator bracket? Wow, that's another 1/4 inch being taken away from the threads because of the alternator bracket. So we're gonna see what happens. Like I said, I'm not gonna have mismatch. Either they're gonna be one or the other. They're not gonna be both. So we're gonna just try to make it happen. Whatever happens, happens. And you stick with me, and you'll see exactly what's going to happen. So we're gonna see if we can't get this vise set up to press one of these seals into this timing cover. So stick with me, and we're gonna keep it moving. All right? Peace out. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take a little bit of our Permatex former gasket, and we're going to go around this seal, and we're also gonna put some in the front of this seal. Now I may just end up putting it down inside of here and then pressing the seal in it. That'll probably be the best thing to do. That way I'm not getting the stuff all over my hands, putting it around here. I'll just put it down on the inside of the timing cover itself. And then I'll see if I can't get it pressed in. We're gonna put it down in here. We'll put our seal in here, press it in a little bit of the way, little ways just to hold it in place. We'll then put in the vise. I will take a 2x4, put on the inside, and then I will turn the vise to press the seal into the timing cover. So that's how I'm going to do this. It should work somewhat sufficiently. We'll find out. But that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to go with a little bit of this Permatex former gasket. I guess I will go ahead and put some around this. First, I want to make sure we got this thing sealed. Don't want no oil leaking. Definitely don't want any oil leaks. Pretty nasty stuff, to tell you that. It's pretty nasty, but I got something that'll take it off my hands, so I'm not worried about that. I just don't want no leaks. That's all I know. We don't want any leaks. Now, as far as putting this down inside the timing cover, don't have to put a whole lot because it's going to end up squeezing and oozing out anyway. But we will put a thin layer down on the inside. So we can say we did put something down in it. A little bit more, and we'll call it good. I'm just making sure I got it going all the way down in that radius. I want it down in that radius. So when this seal seats down in there, it's going to be definitely sealed. I'm not looking to have to change this out no time soon, so I want to make sure that there's plenty down in it. I know if my brother was out here, he'd make sure that there was plenty in it, so I'm gonna make sure there's plenty in it. He wanted me to be sure to put plenty of sealant in certain areas, because we don't want to be taking anything back out. Once we get something down inside, we don't want to be taking it back out. I'm gonna use a little bit of this mineral spirits to clean this off, because this is some nasty stuff. I know it's pretty sticky, so I'll use a little bit of this mineral spirits to see if we can get that off. There we go. You get to this point of engine building, you can see in my last video, I was telling my wife, I said, look at how clean I was dressed as far as working on an engine. You don't see people dressed as clean as I was dressed working on engines nowadays until you're at this point. When you're at this point, you should be able to work on something and not be getting all greasy and dirty. There's no reason to be greasy nor dirty when you get this far in the build. There's no reason whatsoever. So now we're just going to sit this down inside here so that we can't push it down in here a little ways to hold it in place while we get it in place to press fit it. Just sit that down in there. Okay, see where we're at. Okay. press the bottom in. So we're going to open this up. Raise them up. I'm going to try it like this. I need to push the bottom in. The top is in, but I need to push the bottom in. There it goes. As you can see, it's making its way down inside. And you want it to go in straight. So you see I had to change up its location so that I could push in the bottom. The top was in, but the bottom wasn't. Looks like we're gonna have to go another route right now. So we'll put this block in here. Set this down up here. Get us a rubber mallet and see if we can't lightly tap it down in. Yeah, that's as far as it goes. The bottom's out right there. That's where I'm going to leave it. That's exactly where I'm going to call it good. As it is. Just like that. Yep. It's all the way down. Guaranteed it's all the way down. Can't go down no further than that. That is seated as far down as we can get it. It doesn't go any deeper than that. Actually, looking at, there's a little ring right inside her. I don't know if you guys can see this little ring that is exactly at the same height as the case itself. So I'm gonna call that bottomed out. That's exactly what I'm gonna call that. All right, so we do have our seal pressed in. Now what we'll do, we'll see if we can't get our gasket mounted on this, because I don't want to mount it. I don't want to seal the gasket onto the engine, just in case I need to take this back off. When I take it off, the gasket will stay on this. I'd rather clean the gasket off of this as to trying to clean it off the engine itself. So what we will do, we will put, I do believe we're going to put form a gasket around this as well. Light, thin coat of form a gasket around this. And then we'll set our gasket on top of it. And we'll go from there. We'll just keep it moving. Let's see if we can't get this gasket placed in its positioning. So we will put a little bit of sealant around our cover. I don't believe that you have to put a whole lot of sealant between the gasket and the mating surface of whatever you're mating it up against. As long as it's thoroughly covered, I think it's sufficient, because all it's going to do is ooze out anyway as soon as you begin to torque those bolts down. As soon as you start torquing on those bolts, all that sealing that's going to ooze out. It's got to go someplace. It can't stay where you just put it. It's got to go someplace. So as far as putting all that sealant on there and it oozing all out, and then you got this look of all your sealant coming out of different areas on your motor, I don't believe all that is necessary. So, knowing that it's not necessary, I'm not going to have that big old bead of sealant put on this. It doesn't take all of that to seal it. Just cover it completely, because the gasket is just that. It's the gasket. It's going to do its job. The sealant is just extra reinforcement or protection so that it does seal correctly. So I'm not going to put a whole lot of sealant on this cover or any other area of this engine build, except I'll put a little extra in places such as rear main area, the rear main seal for the oil pan, and the front of this timing cover with the oil pan. I will put a little extra in those areas, but as far as this, I'm not going to do it. Because as I said, it's just going to squeeze out anyway. It's either going to squeeze out or it's going to squeeze in. It can only go, well, I guess it can go both places. Some areas it'll squeeze out and some areas it's going to squeeze in. But we're just going to cover it up thoroughly and let the gasket do its job. Because that's what it's designed to do, to seal. It's designed to seal. There. That's thoroughly sealed. stuff. All right. All right. So let's see what we got going on here. All right. As for my damper, we went with a Pro Race harmonic damper for this. It specifies for racing high performance, supercharged applications. So we wanted to get something that was sufficient. Particular part number for that Pro Race Performance Products Chrysler V8 273 to a 360 internally balanced race harmonic damper. So this motor has been internally balanced. So some of these dampers, they do have holes in them. Some of them does look like they had steel that was added, because some has to be balanced that way. But because this has been internally balanced, I don't have to worry about that with this particular damper. Crank snout diameter variation between crankshaft vary more than 22,000. Inside diameter tolerances at damper approximately 1,000. These differences cause a stack up of interference of 3,000. The damper will range from perfect to too tight. This may require that the inside diameter of the damper be custom honed to fit properly on your particular application. You are looking for an interference fit of 1,000 to 1,005. Check the interference before trying to install the damper. Now, I can see that this particular damper, and that's the thing about going with Hughes. They tested everything. Everything is fit. As you can see, this box has already been opened. I didn't open it. Hughes opened it to make sure that it fit what it was supposed to fit. So all I have to do, as he specified, all you guys gotta do is put them motors together. If you have any problems, call me. So we don't have to do anything. Ooh, I like that. Pro Race Performance Products. I like stickers. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right. Up on the bottom. Grand Weather Speed Shop. More sticker action. Yes, indeed. All right. Nice. Oh man, I like that. Got the timing marks on the side. Real nice. No wonder it costs so much. Because it is definitely nice. Oh, she gonna slide right on. She gonna slide right on. Like a glove. So let's move this out of the way. So here, get our cover. Doggone stink bugs. Seems like they're starting to get plentiful out here this time of year. Haven't had any problem with them until about now. Now they're starting to come back around. Sling her back a little ways. No, I guess I'll push it back that way. guys can see, I did decide to go with the same color as the block itself with this timing cover. I was gonna go with the aluminum that I originally had it painted. Well, I had one painted, the one that didn't fit. But as you can see, I decided to go ahead and go with this particular one. Now, just to make sure that this is lined up. That's gonna be fine. I'll tighten that up with my bolt. It's gonna be just fine. I will leave this in position. Snug these down a little bit. I think what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 4 bolts in here. I'm going to torque this down and let it sit there for a little while. That way it can start setting up where it's going to be. And I still want to I got to put this on. I do have those All-Star Performance. It's going to be a cover because we're not going to be using a fuel pump here. So we're going to be covering that off. And for this particular one, this is part number 40307. This is actually for a Chevy. Chevy is the only one that fits for this. This is the one that works for a Mopar small block. If you want to shut off this particular portion where your factory fuel pump would sit. We're not using it, shutting it off. So this is what you want to go with. Big block Chevy. That's exactly what this is. It's a block off plate. So that's what we're going to put on this one. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab some bolts. I'm going to run them in here to hold this, tighten everything down, and we'll keep going from there. Give me just a second, I'll be right back. I just bought these, so I will use these shorter ones instead of these long ones. Okay, let's see what those should be torqued down at, and that's what I'll torque them down at. And that's what I was saying about the not having to put a whole lot of former gasket on these, a whole lot of sealant on them, because it's just going to squeeze all out the sides. Now, that doesn't look too bad, but when you see something where it's all oozing all over, me personally, I don't like it. And so I didn't want mine like that. So I do have some oozing out. It's not extremely bad, but I do have areas where it looks like there's a little bit more coming out than others. And in those areas, I may remove that before it dries. I may go ahead and take a little small screwdriver and just take that off before it dries, because I don't like a lot of ooze. so I will probably end up removing all of that excess because it's not needful. Like somebody's asking a question on Poshmark. As you know, I do Poshmark. I just had a notification come across the screen. Somebody asking a person a specific question pertaining to clothing. You ought to go check out my Poshmark spot, my closet at Del Pompey on Poshmark. Yeah, go check it out. You might find some bangers you might want. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna torque these bolts down, as I said, because I want it to cure right where it is, and we'll go from there. Let's get our old handy dandy how to rebuild your small block Mopar book and see exactly where that is being torqued down at. I think it was 35 pounds. I believe that. I think that's what it was. It was 49, I think it was. Where is all that here? Not far from here. Okay. Okay, there we go. Timing chain cover. It looks like. So where did I just read that? Okay, let's go on this page. Okay. Install and tighten the front cover bolts, 30 foot-pounds. Okay, 30 foot-pounds it is. All right. And once again, we're going to creep up on it. I'll start at 20 pounds. And we're going to do the alternatively on there. Alternating it is too. We'll come down here. Take it up 25. that good. Matter of fact, let me go back and just double check. Make sure we are good. What's wrong with double checking? Okay, so have our timing cover put on. We could probably remove this now, so I'm not putting that on yet. Put that back in the side. Certification sticker back down inside of there. And we will put that on at another time. But right now, it won't be right now. Okay, it's a little bit warm out here. I don't know about you guys. You guys sitting there watching me. A little warm out here. I need something cold. Gotta give me a cold one. Now, when I say cold one, some may think about going and get a Budweiser or a Michelob or something of that nature. I myself, get an orange jack. Plain, get you something refreshing. Something ain't gonna alter your way of thinking. Yes. Ooh, that boy. Ooh. Ooh. That's a bad boy right there. Y'all better quit playing. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. Let's see if we can't move around and go right here. All right. Go with that All-Star. And my brother, he knew I was gonna need one of these. And while he was at the spot we normally go to get our goodies, which is Lane Automotive. Shout out to Lane, y'all got the stuff. He picked me one of these up. So let's see if we can't get this thing put on here. Right. They got some nice button head Allen wrench bolts to put in it. As I said earlier, this is a big block off plate for Chevy. So this is the only thing I'm gonna have on Chevy. I probably shouldn't have told y'all that. But there ain't no shame in my game. If I gotta use it, I gotta use it. All right, so we're gonna put some sealant on this. We're not gonna put any on the gasket itself, but we will put it on the block. And then we'll go that route. Block it off. Yes, indeed. Very light coat, just to coat it. What is the poundage for that? Oh, a fuel pump. 139. When you install the fuel pump, be sure the arm goes on the eccentric. Torque the bolts 30 foot-pounds. 30 foot-pounds. 30 foot-pounds. So let's go down to 20. Start off at 20. Good. Okay. Ooh, that's good. Good. They say it's sun-kissed, but if you actually read it, it actually says sin-kissed. See, they're deceiving you. It's not sun-kissed. It says sin-kissed. See there? You'll learn something new every day. All right. Okay. And we didn't have a whole lot of ooze come out. We had a little bit. Nothing to complain about. A little ooze is all right. Too much is something I don't want. Okay, so we have that on, we have that taken care of, and I believe I'm gonna stop right there. I would really like to put the engine plate on along with the water pump, but because of this boat situation and having to have this alternator bracket, it's gonna play a major role on the length of these bolts that I'm gonna have to have for this. These 4 here, and also these 2 here in that water pump. And there's another one up here, but nothing's here other than just a bolt. But I know that a bracket for the alternator comes off here, and there will other one that comes off of the head. Yes, it'll come off the head. Another thing, I gotta get another gasket. It is going to be the rear oil pan gasket. I don't have one. There's not one in that kit that I have. Matter of fact, I have a kit and a half. And there was not a rear main gasket for the oil pan. I have one for the front, but not for the rear. So I'm going to have to get an oil pan gasket for the rear before I can even get the oil pan put on. That's another thing. I think I'm going to go ahead and button this up as far as covering it back up, putting plastic back over it. I think I might make a run to Elkhart and see if I can't find the gasket for the pan. But I'm probably not gonna come back out here this evening. So I think I'm gonna just shut it down. Yes, I think I'm gonna shut it down. I think I might jump in the old blurred lines and go for a cruise. We'll see how that goes. Look like I need to clean it up first. I don't feel like doing that. See, brother don't like cleaning. But you know how I end all my videos. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shut this thing down. I'm gonna call it a done deal for today. And we're gonna keep it moving. As I said before, stay with me. Hang out with me just a little while longer. We're gonna get this thing done and we're gonna get it fired up. So, with all that being said, we're gonna shut it down right here. Thanks for watching. 392 Blurred Lines coming at you. Peace out.